on a cold and blustery, you're not buying it, are you? It might be 60 degrees outside, but it is still February in New England, and that means it is hockey night in Fitchburg here on FATV. I'm John Gugerty, joined, of course, by Dan Bullock. We are coming to you live from the Wallace Civic Center, just off John Fitch Highway in Fitchburg for the first of 2 games today. We have a doubleheader on tap on FATV. And Dan, there is a lot to celebrate in this home game for the Fitchburg State University Falcons.
A couple different things to celebrate for the Falcons, one of which it's senior day, 2 seniors being honored, Cole Archambault, Antoine Gignac, both captains of this Falcons side, being celebrated here today in their final varsity season as expected.
You see the fans supporting the home side have brought signs for Archambault, number 4.
Indeed.
See some Gignac supporters out there as well, of course.
Yep, Gignac transferred over a couple of years ago from Southern Maine. He's been working on his graduate studies, been very strong academically, just as strong on the ice as well. And for Cole Archambault, he's been part of the program for 4 years. The first one was the pandemic, didn't get to play, but he's played the last 3 years and has been a solid contributor. Also a local boy from Leominster, Mass.
Archambault and Gignac again being honored on Senior Day here from the Civic Center, but they are not the only gentleman whose accomplishments will be recognized beforehand. Another one, Dan, who's been here just a little bit longer.
Dean Fuller, 40th year as head coach of the program, 39th season, just recently picked up win number 600 a couple weeks ago against MCLA, coming in today with 601 career victories. He'll try to tie Bill Beanie for 4th all-time amongst Division III coaches with 602 today, but also we expect he'll be honored today for his 600th win.
There you see Coach Fuller. Again, he will be celebrated before our first game today. And Dan, even after the festivities, it is still a very important game for the Falcons, just in terms of on the ice and their standing in the MASCAC.
Indeed, coming tonight, the Falcons are 3rd in the conference with 31 points. They were tied with UMass Dartmouth after last Saturday's win over the Corsairs. But on Thursday, Fitchburg went up to Plymouth, the top team in the conference, and could not get past the Panthers. Plymouth State winning that one 7-2. Rough night all around, 58 shots put on goal by Plymouth State, 7 of them finding the back of the net, beating the 3 goalies the Falcons addressed. Max Macchione made 19 saves, but pulled something on the 20th shot that he faced, left the game, could not return, is not fit to play today. Freddie Soderberg came in relief, went 23 for 28. Cam Isabel finished the game, went 9 for 10. We expect Soderberg to get the start today. The goals for the Falcons coming from Samuel Rennick, now leading the team in points with 18, and Michael Lamala getting yet another goal for the freshman.
So a very important game for the Falcons in terms of their conference positioning, and they will be taking on, Dan, the Lancers of Worcester State University.
And Worcester State coming off a 5-3 loss to UMass Dartmouth, which is why UMass Dartmouth currently holds the number 2 spot, and the Falcons the number 3 spot. UMass Dartmouth at 34. Fitchburg at 31. Worcester all the way down in 7th place at 16 points, not in a playoff position, 4.5 points out with 3 to play, trying to catch Salem State, but a 5-3 loss for Worcester State 2 nights ago. Brady Carpenter, Mikey Wilson, and Brendan Ronan all had goals, but nevertheless outshot 40-22, not a recipe for victory.
Absolutely not. And as we saw last week, Dan, Fitchburg State does not necessarily need to pass UMass Dartmouth.
That is correct. They have the tiebreaker, having taken 2 out of 3 meetings with the Corsairs this season. They just have to finish level with the Corsairs to get that number 2 spot. And of course, there are the teams creeping up from behind. Don't forget, Westfield is only 1 point behind Fitchburg for 3rd place, and the Falcons play Westfield in 5 days' time here at the Civic Center.
Very tight in the middle of the pack. That battle for the 2 seed. Dartmouth with 34, Fitchburg State with 31, Westfield State 30, Framingham State not totally out of it yet. They're on 27 points. So it's important for the Falcons to keep the pedal down, keep racking up those points, try to catch UMass Dartmouth and get that all-important bye.
And what we can't forget either is the Falcons finish at Framingham State, and they have had nothing but trouble with the Rams this year. 2 games against the Rams. They've only scored 2 goals, both on the power play. They lost both games. It's really the team that's given them the most fits, I think, is even against Plymouth, they still salvaged a draw in one of those games.
This our final regular season Falcons telecast here on FATV. As the playoff schedule is determined, as we are able, we will do our very best, but we can't make any promises because we don't know what the schedule is yet. For now, let's send it down to our public address announcer, Dr. Robert Hans.
NCAA MassTac ice hockey contest between the Lancers of Worcester State and your Fitchburg State Falcons. And a very special welcome to all of the Fitchburg State alumni who are joining us here today. Today marks a noteworthy occasion as we celebrate an important milestone reached by head coach Dean Fuller. Additionally, we will also have an opportunity to honor two senior Falcons who have provided an example of resilience and excellence while wearing the green and gold. Fans, at this time, if you would turn your attention to the end of the rink, you will find Vice President of Student Affairs Laura Bayless and Athletic Director Matt Burke, who are here to present Coach Fuller with a plaque honoring his achievement of reaching 600 career wins. Coach Fuller is in his 40th season with the Falcons ice hockey program. Coach, Fitchburg State University, its ice hockey alumni, and these current players want to thank you for your lifelong dedication to Fitchburg State, the ice hockey program, and the well-being of all the student athletes you have had the opportunity to coach. Your teams have achieved success not only on the ice, but also in the classroom and in their lives that follow their time at Fitchburg State. The impact that you have had on student athletes, this institution, and this community will be remembered for many years to come. Fitchburg State and the athletics department want to thank you for your time, your effort, and your successes with the hope there remain many more to come. Thanks, Coach. And now it's time to celebrate the two graduating seniors of this year's men's ice hockey team. First, please recognize number 4, Cole Archambault. Archie has been a terrific two-way forward for the Falcons for the past 4 years. He has demonstrated outstanding leadership on and off the ice and the ability to score timely goals in key situations. He's been an outstanding student athlete who will always be remembered as a Falcon. Archambault has played in 70 career games with the Falcons. He has totaled 34 points on 14 goals and 20 assists, as well as 2 power play markers and 4 game-winning goals. Cole will be graduating with a degree in biology. Fans, number 4, Cole Archambault. Next, please recognize number 23, Antoine Gignac. Gignac has been the heart and soul of the Falcon defense for the past 2 years. He's been a tremendous leader on and off the ice, who is a privilege to coach. Gignac has played in 47 career games for the Falcons. He has netted 30 points on 11 goals and 19 assists, in addition to 3 power play goals and 3 game winners. He will be graduating with a degree in business administration. Fans, number 23, Antoine Gignac. It's now time to introduce the starting lineups. First, for the visiting Lancers. At forward, a junior, number 8, Martin Delugolinski. At forward, a junior, number 9, Maxwell Tucker. At forward, a senior, number 21, Brian Cloherty. At defense, a junior, number 5, Cody Porcello. At defense, a senior, number 24, Jason Lee. And in goal, a junior, number 30, Jacob Kubik. Worcester is coached by Jay Punske in his first season, assisted by Richard Feely and Bob Deraney. And now the starting lineup for your Fitchburg State Falcons. At forward, a senior, number 4, Cole Archambault. At forward, a junior, number 5, Oliver Cookson. At forward, a junior, number 19, Michael Macchione. At defense, a graduate student, number 23, Antoine Gignac. At defense, a junior, number 18, Jack Johansson. And in the goal, a freshman, number 30, Frederick Soderberg. Fitchburg State is coached by Dean Fuller in his 40th season, assisted by associate head coach Tom Patty, Vincent Giambracco, Chris Kine, Mike Chartrand, and Brian McGrath. Fans, at this time, we ask that you please stand, if you are able, for the playing of our national anthem.
Hockey Night in Fitchburg here on FATV. I'm John Gugerty, joined of course by Dan Bullock. We're getting ready for the first game of our doubleheader, pitting the Falcons of Fitchburg State against the Lancers of Worcester State. Fitchburg State, Dan, comes in with a record 11-9-2 on the season. They are 10-6-2 in the MASCAC, as we said, currently sitting in third place. Lancers are 6-16 on the campaign. They're 5-13 in conference. They are in fifth place, but they would like nothing more than to deny Fitchburg State the opportunity to jump back into that number 2 spot.
Indeed, we look at the goaltending matchup for these two teams. Freddie Soderberg will get the nod for the Falcons. His 8th start of the season, 11th game played, 5-3 record, 294 goals against, 920 save percentage. Obviously, the numbers took a little bit of a hit after Thursday night's affair up in Plymouth. Meanwhile, for the Lancers, Jakob Kubik will be the netminder for the Lancers. The junior from Czechia makes his 15th start. He's 4-10, 417 goals against, but a 902 save percentage. This Lancer team gives up over 42 shots a game.
Should be plenty of opportunities for the Falcons. We are just about ready to get underway, and here with the call for period number 1 is Dan Bolak.
Thank you very much, John. Falcons in the alternate gold uniforms, going from left to right here in this first period of play. Lancers in the road blue uniforms with gold numbering and trim will go from right to left. Oliver Cookson skates it up ice on the right side for the Falcons, takes the shot, and a quick save there by Kubik.
Cookson, one of the forwards on the second wing for the Falcons. Notice that Dean Fuller made sure to get both of the graduating seniors on the ice to start this game. Cole Archambault, the forward, Antoine Gignac, the defenseman, both listed on the second lines, but both starting this game.
And for these players, you know, one of the things they mentioned about Coach Fuller in the pregame is how strong their teams are in the classroom. 22 players made the all-conference, all-academic team. That just shows how strong these students are academically. And of course, both Archambault and Gignac made the teams as well. That's redirected in front by Mike Macchione. Cubic maybe getting a piece of that. Corsair, let's now see how many times I say Corsairs, it's the Lancers now. Dumped in, and Cubic having a little bit of trouble getting that on his paddle. Ultimately not confident in trying to play it on, so he'll just cover it for a draw. 43 seconds gone in this contest.
And Dartmouth was last week.
Yes, it was. Yes, they were. Jackson Collins looking to take the draw for the Falcons, face-off infraction against Worcester.
Official was having words with Christian Finney.
Mikey Wilson able to win the draw for the Lancers. One of the two captains on this team for UMass Dartmouth, along with Brendan Ronan, who's a graduate student himself.
Worcester State.
Worcester State, oh boy.
That's another.
Gonna have to get that jar out of the truck, and I think I'm gonna have to start putting some change into it. Behind the net, they'll battle for it. Onto the far side, picked up by Brigham Newhold, one of the leading scorers for the Lancers this season. Skating up ice with some numbers, right side. Ronan's shot, patted away by Soderberg into the left wing corner. Dug out, Falcons will bring it up on the near side. Is protecting it and pitchforking into the zone is Hunter Dunn. Falcons will get fresh legs on the ice. A little over 90 seconds gone in this contest. Anders Grogstad not able to get the touch on for Worcester. Amala protecting it against the boards. His pass picked up by Grogstad. Now flipped back into the neutral zone. Imala, backhand out to the far side. Samuel Rennick will dump in towards Cubic, but it's the side of the net. Find into the left wing corner, Millette for Rennick. Everyone's scraping and battling for the puck. Shane Prifferl there in the corner for Worcester. Also down there, Matthew Kowal. Kowal trying to win it off a Rennick stick. Rennick keeps control down the left side, gets to the point. Shot through traffic, gets to Cubic. He'll put that aside. Grogstad trying to get out of the zone, gets to the red line and no farther. Andrew Wollison will dump it back in. Fresh legs coming on for the Falcons. 17:30 to go in the first period, no score. Falcons force a turnover, Toivo Kramer. Left wing corner, Alexander Beauvais. Now Kramer. Referee has to jump out of the way of the puck. But Kramer will pick it up on the right side. Looking around, trying to cut towards goal. Wasn't able to get the shot cleanly away. Graham Broadfoot, who's drawn back into the lineup after missing the last several games. Take it there to the left point, shot. That's blocked away by Cubic. Right side kept in the zone by Johansson. He throws it on goal. Cubic gobbles that one up and hold for a draw. 16:56 to go in the first. No score.
I noticed Dan Anders Grogstad was kind of drifting very far down the ice a couple of times when Worcester State looked like they might be able to grab the puck. I think they're looking to set up a quick hitter to him, just get a quick breakaway goal, but Fitchburg State has been able to completely maintain control.
Grogstad's a sophomore from Royal Oak, Michigan, same state as Freddie Soderberg. Two very Swedish-sounding names from Michigan. Grogstad has 8 goals on the campaign.
There are Swedes in Michigan, one would assume.
Antoine Gignac will hold back in the zone end, stretch it up for Archambault, who'll flick it along on the right side of the red line to the zone. Jakub Cubic gives it away to Mike Macchione. Hold to the left circle, spins again, out to that left point. Gignac flings it on goal. Cubic with the stop, got it with the glove. They whack away at it at the pads just in case it wasn't cleanly in the glove.
It was not, it was right between his knees. He made the initial save with his glove, but then he dropped it right in front of him, just closed his knees on top of him. Managed to cover it up enough to get the referee to blow the whistle. Take a look at it again. See right there, he's just holding his knees together. Official loses sight of the puck, he's got to make the call.
One of those advantages with the darker color pads as well is it's a little easier to lose the puck in those pads. It camouflages a little more, but there are some people who absolutely believe that you should have white pads. Try to give the shooter a fake target to shoot at. Oh, you thought you were shooting into open ice, but no, you were shooting into my pads. That's basically, is it too late to use the dress argument?
You know,
I mean,
some memes never die.
well, that's basically the goaltender's coach's argument in the generation. It's like to use all white pads or not to use all white pads. That one flies into the netting. Might have even got a bit of the window there.
I would argue that given that an entire hockey season is played after Labor Day, it is uncouth to wear all white. That's the rule, right?
Yep, I myself am a believer that you should have some color on the pads. In fact, none of the Falcons goalies have predominantly white pads. They're ready to drop the puck, but Freddie Soderberg still has to adjust his equipment a little bit. He's got a nice mix on there. I mean, the ends, the toes are more white, and that one goes off the iron right off the draw.
We saw some of that white come into play.
Brady Carpenter had the shot there for the Lancers. Won't get a shot on target for that, though, because it goes off the iron, but that close to getting the opening score. Flipped in the right wing corner, Nolan Sargent trying to get into Adam Nedelka. The near side, knocked out of the zone, down the ice, will not go for icing. It's going to be picked up there by Jason Lee before it can get to the goal line. Here's Christian Wanitz. Will take the shot on, glove down by Soderberg. Lancers trying to get a line change behind the play. Rennick tried to back in, looking for Millette, cutting on the right wing, but intercepted. Rogstad's shot is blocked in front. To the left side, kept in by Louis Valente. Listed as the 19th on the Worcester line charts. That is literally how it's written.
That's a very stylistic way of indicating their extra skater. He's not like an extra forward or, you know, here's our special bonus guy. No, he's the 19th. Sounds like a drama premiering this summer on ABC or a trendy cocktail bar you'd find on Main Street. Let's all meet up for drinks at the 19th.
Or the other way you want to put it.
This is a good idea.
Yep. Louis Valente is the 19th. Coming this fall on your, check your local listings. Draw will come to the right of Freddie Soderberg, 14:38 to go, first period. No score, shots 5-2 in favor of the homestanding Falcons. So they'll move it out of the zone as it pinballs around. I do wonder, we did talk about it during the pregame, but the weather is quite warm out there today.
It is.
And I do wonder how much of an effect that's going to have on the ice surface, because sometimes that does translate over, and maybe not necessarily in the best of ways. Broadfoot can't get the shot away, but able to regather the puck, passing along for Kramer, who's dispossessed. Lancers will flip it out of the zone to the red line. Cookson knocks it down. And you can see it's just pinballing off sticks right now. Kramer will re-enter illegally. Someone was just a little bit ahead.
I think it was Alexander Bove, maybe a skater's length ahead.
One of our linesmen, Brian Gallant, making the call there. The Worcester State line chart also mentions the 4 on-ice officials today.
Tremendous.
Yep, as provided by the New England Women's Hockey Association. Or Hockey Alliance, I forget which one they use. I think it's the Alliance, actually. Puck migrates now behind the net. You can see everyone going to the boards. 5 players trying to dig it out, eventually won by the Falcons. Some left point, Cookson. Tight angle shots, stopped by Kubik. And he'll gather up the rebound.
Sometimes the most surprising thing you can do as a skater in that situation, when you're point blank with the goaltender, you just kind of dance around with the puck for a moment, look like you're going to pass, and then nope, just rip off a quick wrist shot. Good job by Jakub Kubik to stand tall, make the save.
Already 6 saves for the Czechian netminder. He's a junior. Load all the way around the boards on the right side. Max Tucker trying to call for that pass, but it was well offline to him. And trying to pick up that one was Brian Clardy, but it goes off his stick and into the Falcon bench.
Can't tell who that is, but he's playing it up. He took a little flipping puck right in the center of the sternum, and immediately it was like it was shot. Just, oh, I've been slain. Oh, I've fallen. I shall never recover.
Well, he's a hockey player, so he's not going to miss his next shift, even if he's dead. In the right wing corner for Zapata. Lowered along behind the net, Hunter Dunn. Keeping control of it. Dunn's got some space, shoots! Didn't get it all the way away. Maybe Kubik got a piece of that. Couldn't tell where the puck had gone. All I know is it didn't go in the net. Anders Rogstad leads the rush. Shot on by Shane Brifferl, and it's gobbled up by Freddie Soderberg.
Take another look at that last chance for Fitchburg State. Looks like he's going to fake the wraparound, just takes a shot right into the chest of Kubik. Then tries the spinning shot again. That gets blocked out in front. Then Worcester State with a quick breakaway opportunity. That, Dan, seems to be how the Lancers intend to get the bulk of their scoring chances. They're pretty content to, sit back in their defensive zone and try to catch Fitchburg State on the counterattack.
There have been some teams in college ice hockey who have operated under a strategy of conceding a lot of shots, but trying to limit it to low danger chances that they can trust that their goalies can see. Both Jakob Kubik and Wyatt Freelander, the two main goalies for Worcester State this year, have goals against in the low 4s and save percentages in the 900s. But when you have a save percentage up like that, that's still pretty good. That shot goes off the side of the net. 9:02 for Kubik, 9:10 for Freelander. Looking for the redirection in front from Rennick. Not able to get it on target. Then the puck changes direction about 7 times behind the net and eventually ends up in the glove of Kubik.
Add 7 more saves to that total here in the first half of the first period for Kubik.
42.8 shots a game Worcester State is giving up. Well, that's not always a recipe for disaster. The Falcons, as you may recall, in 2018 when they won the MASCAC championship, that was a team that pretty regularly gave up 40 shots a game. That championship game, there were 48 shots on the big green board at the end of the game, but no goals. There's a shot, and Soderberg able to stick with that one. That puck didn't go quite where he was expecting to, but he was able to knock it down with his paddle. That's popped in the air, picked up by Broadfoot. Tries to feed it forward for Kramer. Ends up getting it back, and now Kramer will have it on the right side. A lot of strong stick work. Kramer's shot is wide. On the far side, Brigham Newhold tries to clear. Unsuccessful. Here's Bove with the shot stopped by Kubik. And he leaps on top of that puck. Like a loose hand grenade, he covers it up for the draw. 11-12 to go in the first. No score shots, 8-4.
I don't know if Kubik intended to catch that and then missed the catch, or if he decided late that he wanted to cover up the rebound, because the puck hit the ice, and then even from our standing here in the press box, we could almost see Kubik's eyes go wide as he thought to himself, oh, darn, I better cover that thing up. He might not have thought darn. I may have sanitized that.
What are some good check-in expletives? They'll probably... There's a shot by Macchione that goes just wide. And now we have a whistle on a delayed call here.
It's going to be a penalty against the Lancers. Falcons had been sprinting an extra skater onto the ice. Wasn't able to get in there to really affect the play before the whistle blew. But it looks like Jason Lee.
Hold indicated against Jason Lee. He'll pick up just his 4th minor penalty of the season. The computer science major from Thousand Oaks, California will sit for 2 minutes or less.
Falcons are just under 1 out of 4, 23.9% successful on the power play this season. That's 2nd best in the MASCAC, 15th in all of Division III. Worcester State has a pretty solid penalty kill as well. There's the 3rd best in the conference, but they're not going to get a successful kill here. That is a goal for the Falcons.
Adam Nedelka from the point through a lot of traffic. One check-in conquers another with the power play goal. The Falcons have the first strike.
take another look at it. Just great back and forth cross ice passing. Had the Lancers looking one way, then the other. And Nedelka buries it in the back of the net, gives the Falcons a 1-0 lead.
Third meeting between these two teams. It's the first time the Falcons have gotten the first strike. The Lancers got the first strike in the other two games. Gignac gets the assist. Maybe Beauvais as well. I'll double check and confirm, but nevertheless, it's 1-0 as Rennick tried to feed it out. Goes off a Lancer stick and flies out of the zone. Indeed, it is Gignac and Beauvais who get the assists on the goal. It's a very international goal, a Czechian scoring on an assist from a Canadian and a Frenchman. But Adam
And of course,
Nedelka,
beating another Czechian.
And the freshman from Search, Czechia, makes it 1-0. Antoine Gignac, who has the assist. He's from Quebec City. Will float it up for Archambault, taken to the ice. And float it all the way back into the Falcon end. Thrown back around the boards by the Lancers, left wing corner. Gignac to Johansson. Archambault back to Johansson. Archambault taken down. That shot goes wide on the right side. Too many Falcons there for Newhold to win the puck. Maximilian Hussar. And toss it around the boards to the right side. Mikey Wilson trying to pick that up. Ever so slowly making its way out of the zone, and that pass misplayed. Tried to go D to D, but not the best route on that puck. Lancers regain the zone to the left side off a Falcon stick, and they'll clear it down for icing. 8:29 to go in the first. Falcons 1 and the Lancers 0.
Dan, did you say that Adam Nedelka is from Search, Czechia?
Yes.
I feel like we know where it is. Eastern Europe.
Yeah.
There are maps. We have pictures. I don't see why we need to search.
They don't see why either. That's why they dropped a couple of letters. Right in on goal. There's a save by Soderberg off of Matthew Kowal. Falcons will transition. Try to float it out for Jackson Collins in the slot. Passes behind him. Falcons trying to steal it away in the slot again. Eventually poked out of the zone. Brogstad out to the right side. His shot is wide. Dug against the boards. Nedelka will win that puck. Sargent. And the Lancers will have it. Brian Clardy into the zone. Takes the self-pass around Nedelka. Sargent got there first. Graham Broadfoot on the near side. Freshman from Dublin, Ohio. His 9th game of the season. He's been out of the lineup for a little while. Here's Nedelka. Out for Beauvais. Broadfoot also slotting in on line number 1. So that's popped into the slot. Broadfoot can't get his stick on it. Martin Deglinski. Pass up on the right side. Couldn't find his target there.
That was great defensive work by Nolan Sargent, whacking that puck out of midair and denying the Lancers the scoring opportunity.
6:50 to go in the first. 9-6 of the shots in favor of the Falcons. 1-0 is the score in favor of the Falcons as well. Kramer up the left side. Goes for the wraparound. Couldn't get the release cleanly enough. And Jakub Kubik will have the save. Blew off his stick at the last moment, so instead of going right into that near side post, which there was a sliver of space, ends up going into the pads instead. And Kubik would not allow a rebound to be pounced on. Draw will come to the left of Kubik.
We had another face-off violation indicated, I believe, against the Lancers.
Amala's shot ends up getting patted away there. Race for the right side, Isaiah McKinney with the touch on. That's floated high in the air, misses the ceiling by about a foot or two. Lands in the Falcon end. Here the Lancers drop off, shot save by Soderberg off Brady Carpenter. And many whistles to follow that.
Carpenter was exchanging pleasantries with Isaiah McKinney. We'll take another look at the wraparound attempt by Toivo Kramer. Kramer had skated this from all the way into the Falcon end, and you see there, Dan, you were right. There was that sliver of space right next to the left skate of Jakub Kubik. Kramer wasn't able to perfectly execute it, slammed it right into the middle of the pad instead, and Kubik was able to cover up.
Draw will come outside of the Falcon zone due to all of the shenanigans that happened after the whistle, and how about some more?
I think those are sequel nanigans.
I think this time this is going to result in somebody going.
Yeah, Isaiah McKinney is going to be sent into a tiny little box to think about what he's done. Perhaps be gently encouraged not to do it anymore.
Probably a case of, well, if the pushing and shoving gave us a better face-off position, why not try that again? The officials are wise to that, and McKinney will sit for the 4th time in the sin bin this season. First power play of the night for Worcester State. Their power play has struggled a bit this year, operating at just 11.8%. That's bottom of the conference and 6th worst in the nation. Let's take a moment to thank our FATV underwriters.
Fitchburg Access Television's remote productions are brought to you in part by Rollstone Bank and Trust, Acme Carpet One, Lemonster Credit Union, the Sentinel and Enterprise, and Minuteman Press.
Our thanks to our FATV run underwriters who make all of our remote productions possible. Faceoff will come outside of the Falcon zone after the offside. Nelson already lost 25 seconds on this man advantage. Skated up, get a shot off. Soderberg pounds that away and into the netting and out.
And Dan, while we have a moment, we want to mention, of course, that there are all sorts of ways to watch for those who maybe know someone from Worcester or anyone else who would like to have a wonderful day of watching some beautiful doubleheader hockey action here on FATV. There is, of course, the FATV app available on all your streaming devices, the App Store, Google Play Store. We're pretty much everywhere these days.
So many different ways to watch us. No excuse if you can't find us. Near side, Mikey Wilson let that go. Christian Finney skates up, tries to backhand the zone, just puts it off Nolan Sargent instead. And the Lancers have to regroup. 1:03 to go on the power play. 5:10 to go in the first period. Falcons lead by a 1-0. Adam Nedelka, the goal scorer, gets the move on for Zapata. They'll just push it up to the blue line, dump it in, switch off the personnel, kill some more time. Falcons' penalty kill has been pretty solid this season, 82.3%. Again, jamming it up at the blue line. Lancers can't gain the zone cleanly, and another offside.
It's an above-average penalty kill for the Falcons, both in the conference and nationally. They're 4th in the MASCAC and comfortably in the top half of D3 in 37th place.
85 teams in Division III hockey this season.
That counts as comfortably in the top half, I would say.
Yes, it would be. That exact midpoint is 43rd, 6 above. Yeah, that'll work. 30 to go on the penalty to McKinney, who was also the extra skater for the Falcons today. It's the left side, Shane Frickerel to the left point. Right side, one-timer whiffed on by Ronan. And the Falcons will punish that whiff with a clearance.
McKinney didn't get a fancy title on the roster sheet. He's just the extra skater.
He is also a defenseman, so 7 defensemen for the Falcons in the lineup today. Penalty is up now to McKinney. Peripheral's pass intercepted, trying to feed someone for a breakaway here. That's Millette. 2 Lancers breathing down his back.
That breakaway was set up by Michael Imalo, who was coming off the bench after McKinney got out of the penalty box.
It's dangerous fourth line for the Falcons, probably the most dangerous fourth line in the nation. Not too many fourth lines where you put your leading goal that have the team's leading goal scorer and leading point getter. I imagine at this point they're just putting those 3 on the fourth line as head games. Delayed penalty here. It might be a second one, as Rennick took Matt Lombardi to the ice well after the whistle.
I would certainly be surprised if he wasn't gently asked to go to the detention dungeon, but, you know, many things surprise me.
Kamala goes for a high stick. Let's have a look at the last play there.
This is the breakaway opportunity set up. Again, it was Imala coming off the bench, and Millette had a golden opportunity, just barely sticked away by a Lancer defenseman.
They'll let Rennick get away with his misdeeds, but Kamala into the penalty dungeon for 2 minutes or less.
I noticed how you almost said misconduct and then realized, wait a second, that's an actual thing.
It's just the second penalty of the season against Imala. He's been very disciplined.
Keeps his stick low, his checks circular, that sort of thing.
He'll come out to the right point, picked up by Christian Finney. Moves along left side, looking for Newhold at the left point. Grongstad back for Newhold. Shot was blocked. His counterpart wearing 15, Trenton Skaggs, going down to the ice, not letting that one through. Skaggs will clear it too for good measure. 66 seconds to go on this man advantage, about 2.5 to go in this first. 1-0 to the Falcons. Anders Grongstad put in the right wing corner for Max Tucker. Out to the right point, Grongstad. Tucker, his shot blocked and cleared. This goes right onto the stick there, the Falcon defenseman in front, and Johansson, in just one effort, just sweeps it right down the ice.
Nothing fancy, but it doesn't have to be. You're on the penalty kill. Just get that puck out of here.
Johansson able to win that one, throw it around the boards. Ronan keeps control of it on the right side, but 2 Falcons right on him. Takes Ronan to the ice on the left side, held. Cross, one-timer, saved by Soderberg. Well stopped, going post to post. Another shot and a save, and another shot goes off the side of the net. Cleared out to the right side, penalty up to Imala. He's out of the box. Falcons are back to full strength, but now a 2-on-1 after the turnover. And a goal for Martin Dugalinski. The junior from Slovakia, with the snipe into the left side, ties the score at 1.
It was Dugalinski, Dan, who had the one-timer opportunity, kind of double-clutched on that one, wasn't able to get the best shot away, and then as soon as the game got back to even strength, as soon as Imala was back on the ice, Fitchburg State looked to push the pressure, take advantage of the opportunity, but a turnover created a 2-on-1, and Dugalinski didn't miss.
6th goal this season for Martin Dugalinski. That shot through a lot of traffic from Delka. And Kubik reads it well and stops it.
Worcester State was really playing on the back foot for most of this first period. But over the past few minutes, they've taken advantage of the power play opportunity, got a lot of pressure, the even strength goal just after getting back to 5-on-5. And that's the first time this season, Dan, that Worcester State has answered a Fitchburg goal with one of their own.
In the first game that these two teams played here at the Civic Center earlier this year, the Lancers got the first 3 goals, but the Falcons responded with 4 in kind and won the game. And then the most recent meeting between these two teams, a 6-1 win for the Falcons, Goal number 1 was by Worcester. They led for 84 seconds. Hunter Dunn equalized. Falcons shortly after retook the lead and never relinquished it. Never allowed the Lancers to get another one. So yeah, first time all season that the Falcons had the first strike, and the first time the Lancers have had a proper retort to a Falcon goal. Under 30 seconds to go in this period. Shots now in favor of Worcester State, thanks to those 2 power plays. Brigham Newhold holds in front of his bench, gets a nice solid pass off, and a shot punched away by Soderberg. The Lancers have definitely had their chances, especially as this period's gone on. Another shot stopped by Soderberg. Not necessarily a can of corn trying to track that puck, but he's able to gobble it up with 2.5 seconds to go in the period.
Dan, I know how much you love when I call on your goaltending experience. That has to be a terrifying moment for a goalkeeper. You make the save, the rebound goes straight up. So now you're looking up at the puck, surrounded by skaters that you can't see, and you've got to make that catch. I imagine that is a heart-in-throat moment for a goalie.
Not the best moment in the world, and a shot off the draw by Ronan, fought off by Soderberg. A flurry of shots by Worcester State in the final minutes of the period, and we are level through 20 minutes of play.
If you watched the first 10 minutes or so of this first period and you looked at these 2 teams' records coming in, you would have the thought, yeah, Fitchburg State is the better team. They're probably going to score, 3-4 goals and comfortably win this game. And then for the second half of that period, Worcester State, to their credit, really turned it around. They did have a couple of power plays, but even again, on even strength, they were able to take advantage of a mistake by the Falcons and put the puck in the net. We said early on that Worcester State was looking to hit the counterattack. That 2-on-1 opportunity, basically gifted to them by Fitchburg State, is the reason that the Lancers go into the locker rooms tied.
After the end of period audit, they've changed the shot totals. The Falcons were severely undercounted in that period. They finished with 15 shots on goal. The Lancers with 14. Relatively level through 20 minutes of play, and the score lines reflect that.
And I would say on balance, the play reflects it. Fitchburg State controlled the first half of the first period. Worcester State had just as much of the advantage in the second half. All in all, this was a very even and a very entertaining period of hockey.
Indeed it was. There's going to be more entertainment to come, I imagine, as our doubleheader on hockey night in Fitchburg rolls on. We are going to take a break, and we'll be back with the second period of action not too long from now, so don't go away. This is Hockey Night in Fitchburg right here on FATV.
Back here at the Wallace Civic Center, Hockey Night in Fitchburg on FATV. I'm John Gugerty, joined, of course, by Dan Bullock. And Dan, it was a very entertaining first period of hockey, 1-1 between the Falcons of Fitchburg State and the Lancers of Worcester State, as we take a look at some of the important moments from the first period.
29 shots on goal between these 2 teams, but the goaltending has been pretty solid. Freddie Soderberg for the Falcons with 13 saves. Jakub Kubik for the Lancers with 14 saves. You can see some of the close chances that the goalies have had to be ready for. Some of the opportunities that developed, you can see Soderberg getting the paddle on that. Another one he's able to fight off. A wraparound chance that Kubik is there in the right spot to stop. Another chance wired in on goal.
One thing I've noticed as well is the play has gotten very aggressive. You saw a couple of big hits, and there have actually been players sent to the box for some extracurricular activities, shall we say. That hit there did not go penalized, but there were a few more that did. Certainly something to keep an eye on as we advance in this game.
Yep. We only saw 3 penalties in that period. I wonder if we'll see more as the game goes on, if these teams continue to be as feisty as they have been.
You certainly got the sense toward the end of the period as we take a look at the goals. The first one scored for the Falcons by Adam Nedelka. Thank you very much, as I find the number on my score sheet. And then Martin Dugulinski potting the equalizer for the Lancers. But Dan, returning to our point about the chippy nature of the end of the first period, I certainly got the impression that the referees and officials were just like, okay, you guys have had your fun. We're not going to do this. We're not going to have pushing and shoving after every whistle. Enough of that. That was part of the reason that the Fitchburg Falcons went on their second penalty kill.
It was shortly after that kill, a turnover trying to exit the zone, trying to ride the momentum of their second penalty kill into an odd man rush down ice, turned into an intercept and a 2-on-1, and Martin Dudelinski did not miss. His unassisted goal with 1:23 to go in the first period tied the score at 1 after Adam Nedelka's power play goal from Alexander Bove and Antoine Gignac opened the scoring just short of halfway.
And folks, we do want to let you know, if you only tuned in for the Falcons game and did not know, we do have a doubleheader of action on tap here today on FATV. Following the conclusion of this game, we will bring you the Fitchburg Monty Red Raiders as they play host to the Blue Knights of Lunenburg Air Shirley. That's a big matchup in the Coughlin Conference. Lunenburg Air Shirley coming in with record 13-3-1 on the season, so a tough test for Fitchburg Monty Tech.
That'll be senior night for the Red Raiders as well, and if Fitchburg Monty Tech can come away with the victory, it'll be huge for their playoff hopes. Don't forget, you can watch FATV programming anywhere in the world for free. Look at all these places you can watch us. On your iPhone or Android devices, on your Apple TV, your Amazon Fire, or your Roku devices, or streaming at fatv.org.
fatv.org/watch-FATV to learn all of the places to watch FATV programming live and on demand. Or go ahead and scan that QR code. QR codes are still a thing.
You put it up there for plenty enough time. Maybe you have a DVR on your TV. Maybe you want to rewind it a little bit.
That's right. I mentioned it as we're taking it down. That's on me. That's bad talent work right there.
We'll put it back up for you.
You can go ahead and scan the QR code. This is a beautiful thing. We have microphones and we can influence the broadcast. It just makes the truck hate us. So we don't do it very often.
But now we'll get ready for the start of the second period. Falcons will go from right to left. The Lancers from left to right with the second period of play-by-play is John Gugerty.
Thank you very much, Dan. Falcons will send their third line out for the start of the second period. Jackson Collins takes the draw. Post by Mikey Wilson of the Lancers. Puck goes down the Worcester State end. Grabbed down there for the Falcons by Dunn, but he's quickly dispossessed. Chance going the other way for Worcester State. Centering pass finds no one in particular. Sent back behind the net by Johansson. Loses the handle. It's picked up by Ronan. Back out to the defenseman and out over the blue line. Goes all the way down the ice. And we'll get an icing call 27 seconds into this second period.
Then we had one puck fly in the air. That was a close shave with the ceiling. This one was even closer.
That one was very, very close indeed.
I will say if it struck the ceiling or if it didn't strike the ceiling, the end result was the same. It's a face-off to one side of Soderberg.
It's either going to be icing or just pucks out of play. Either way, we get a face-off in the offensive end for the Lancers, and it is won by the Lancers, but then quickly skated out of the zone by Fitchburg State. Sent back behind the net. Christopher Zapata battling forward in there alongside Jackson Collins, but it comes back the other side for the Lancers. Anders Gronstedt down into the right side corner, battling with Gignac. Back behind the net, grabbed by Johansson. He goes back to Gignac. Gignac finds Dunn as the Falcons try to clear the zone. They do. Pass goes off the midsection of Christian Finney. Battled for between the blue lines, finally controlled by the Falcons. Dunn with a chance. His shot save made by Jakob Kubik. Great shot, and great save. Now a chance the other side for Worcester State. 3-on-2 if they hurry. Shot save made by Soderberg. That one off the stick of Shane Priffrell. Right into the midsection of Freddie Soderberg. He clamped down on it and we get another stoppage.
Falcons had the first goal in this contest, 7-2-1 when they strike first. Meanwhile, for Worcester State, they've played 11 games where they've conceded first, but have only come back to win once. That was back against Salem State on November the 30th.
Another shot and a save made by Freddie Soderberg as we take a moment to recognize the underwriters who make this and all remote productions possible here on FATV.
Fitchburg Access Television's remote productions are brought to you in part by Rollstone Bank and Trust, Acme Carpet One, Lemonster Credit Union, the Sentinel Enterprise, and Minuteman Press.
Martin Dugalinski had a golden opportunity go off his stick. He went down to the ice in despair at a wide open net. He was unable to capitalize. Puck goes down the other end, chance for the Falcons now. Centering pass for Porcello. Excuse me, that's Cookson. Battling forward in the corner alongside Mike Macchione. Comes back out to the other side. Tried to clear out of the zone, but then down to goal, covered up. Officials say, no, Jakob, you can't do that. Let's keep playing. Worcester State gets another opportunity to clear the zone, and they do. Sent back down behind the ice, and that'll be actually icing.
That's a penalty against Fitchburg.
Penalty against Fitchburg, rather, as it's grabbed by Soderberg.
So the last reason why we didn't get that whistle there was because Kubik was not being actively checked by any Falcon when he tried to cover it. There was nobody near him, and that was after that strange ricochet off the skate of Mike Macchione. And speaking of that, Mike Macchione is sitting for 2 minutes.
He will spend 2 minutes at most in the box. Falcons certainly hope he serves the full sentence. Another face-off violation. But the face-off does come to the left side of Soderberg. Shot goes wide back behind the net. Grabbed there by Grongstad, sent back behind the net. Clardy will play it. He'll try to send it back behind himself for Wilson, but it's grabbed by Newhold instead. Now back to Wilson. Brandon Newhold, shot save made by Soderberg, and he holds on to it.
Newhold's been one of those sharpshooters for the Lancers this season. 18 points on 6 goals and 12 assists. He's from Edmond, Oklahoma, majoring in business administration, and one of many members on the honor roll in this past semester.
Christian Finney was looking for a shot, never got it. Puck was deflected back behind the net, now cleared all the way down by Fitchburg State. Kubik will lay it off for Finney. Chance for the Lancers to take a breath, set up their play. Finney dumps it into the left side, pursued by Newhold. Sent back the other side for the Falcons by Isaiah McKinney. McKinney, the 19th skater for Fitchburg State, extra defenseman for the Falcons. Skaggs was trying to clear it, winds up going off the side of the net. Dangerous situation there, but it comes back out to the point. Centering pass, blocked. Great job, shot goes wide over the corner of the net. Dangerous opportunities for Worcester State. Fitchburg State's defense has stood strong, however. Under 50 seconds to play on the penalty kill now. Sent to the left side corner, back to the point, and we get a whistle. It's going to be a cross-check indicated against Worcester State. No, excuse me, that's interference is the call. I remember.
Grongstad, who just a moment ago was right on the right side of the paint with a great chance to redirect the puck home, wasn't able to get a handle on it, and now Grongstad, guilty of interference, will chalk off the rest of that power play.
We will be 4-on-4 for 44 seconds. Fours are wild here in the second period. It's a very weird hand of poker, but okay. Faceoff comes to the left side of Kubik. Skated back behind the net. Porcello. He'll send it back behind his net for Jason Lee. Able to clear the zone is Ronan. Back to Porcello. Centering pass for Ronan, picked off by the Falcons. Toivo Kramer sends it across to Bove. Falcons have their first line out on the ice. 15 seconds to play in the 4-on-4, after which Fitchburg State will have the man advantage. Bove skated it all the way around, back behind the blue line. Now a chance for Worcester State. Shot, pressure by Kramer, save made by Soderberg. We are back to 5-on-4 now, Fitchburg State with the man advantage. Macchione out of the box, he'll go immediately to the bench, replaced by Jeremy Millette. Meanwhile, Worcester State sends it back behind the net. Soderberg plays it forward for Sargent. Sargent will go back to Wolfson. Wolfson, my apologies. You know, this font is very small. That's definitely it. It's not me being bad at my job or anything. Millette grabs the blue line. His shot goes high over the stick of Kubik and comes back out. Worcester State now with an opportunity playing shorthanded. Sent back behind the net by Tucker. But it's grabbed for Fitchburg State by Adam Nedelka. Nedelka has the lone Falcon goal. Fitchburg State looking for a second with now under 30 seconds to play on this man advantage. 5 minutes gone, second period, still one aside. Shots on goal for the game, 18-16 in favor of the Lancers. Gives them a distinct advantage here in this second period. Now Samuel Rennick speeds across the blue line. Initial shot is blocked. Puck comes back along the other side for Beauvais. To the point with Delka. He goes D to Broadfoot. Excuse me, that was Gignac, not Broadfoot. Gignac sends it back in. We are back to even strength. Puck passed off the back of the net by the Lancers as they try to clear. Millette applies pressure. Now Rennick gives chase. But Michael Schaff has it. He leaves it off for Finney. Finney gets it forward to Wilson. And the Lancers are able to clear the zone. Now we get a whistle as it's grabbed at center ice by Clardy.
Looks like we have a penalty.
Is that a slash indicated?
Looked high sticky to me, and it looks like Grogstad's going back to the bin.
Maybe he left his coffee in. So Worcester State is apparently entirely too comfortable playing 5-on-5.
The lack of a number on the board says maybe they had 6-on-5 for a moment.
Could have been. Well, now they'll play 4-on-5. How do you like them apples? Faceoff winds up wide in front of net. Griffel loses the handle. Cole Archambault back for Macchione. He loses the handle in front of the ice. Toivo Kramer tries to send it back to him, but he's interfered with by Griffel in an entirely legal way, of course. Lowercase I interference, not capital I interference. 90 seconds to play in the man advantage for the Falcons. Johansson left it off for somebody. Kramer and Archambault didn't know which. Falcons having a little bit of trouble communicating here. Too many men on the ice is the call against the Lancers. Gronstead will serve it. Kramer loses the handle. Imala's got it now. Skates to the faceoff circle, back to Johansson. Johansson didn't like the shot. He goes to Imala. One-timer is blocked by Porcello. Now back to Johansson. Imala will try it again. Swing and a miss. Imala's 0 for 2 on those one-timer opportunities on this power play. Back to Johansson now. He's looking for a shot. Doesn't like it. Well defensed by Prifrel. Johansson goes to Macchione. Macchione to Archambault. Archambault back to Macchione. Falcons looking for something. 38 seconds. Shot save made by Kubik. That rocket came off the stick of Johansson. Now Macchione with it. He's looking for something. Not finding anything. Poked at by Porcello. Porcello successfully dislodges the puck, but Archambault grabs it. Cole Archambault loses the blue line. Falcons are going to have to reset. Archambault maybe tried to do a little bit too much. Then he went to play it off the boards to Jeremy Millette. And I think maybe the Falcons had about 8 guys on the ice technically.
Well, the problem is that it hit that player's skate as he was trying to get off, and at that point, the Falcons officially had 6. And would you look at that, we're going to have too many men on both teams and the 4-on-4 for the same reason. How about that?
So we see right here, just trying to play. You actually see Millette try to jump back up onto the bench to avoid the puck, but his reflexes were not good enough. As the song encourages him to jump, he wasn't able to jump high enough. Will be 4-on-4 for 16 seconds, and then Worcester State will have a power play. Faceoff comes to the right side of Soderberg, won by the Lancers. Shot goes wide off the stick of Newhold. Falcons clear, 10 seconds left in the 4-on-4. 1-on-3 is Fitchburg State at the moment. That's Chris Zapata in there. He loses the handle. We are now 5-on-4 in favor of the Lancers. Grongstead out of the box. He'll stay on the power play unit. Falcons are able to clear. Puck goes all the way down. It'll be grabbed by Kubik.
I like the shot we had at that moment of both those players sitting in the penalty box, neither of whom necessarily did anything wrong, but were the ones volunteered to serve the penalties.
Nope, they were the fall guys. You know, little wacky dudes stumbling downhill. We remember Fall Guys, right? Is that a dated reference at this point?
You remember them better than I do.
Okay. Chance for the Falcons here, shorthanded. Collins centering pass, eventually grabbed by Zapata, but he loses the handle. The Lancers will have to send it all the way down, and it'll be played by Soderberg. Fresh set of skaters on the ice for Worcester State. They have 50 seconds or so left on this penalty kill. Falcons didn't like those odds. They decided to send it all the way down, grab a couple new defensemen of their own. Skaggs and Wolozin joined the penalty kill effort. Lancers skated in, but offside. Michael Schaff was not the first man in blue in the offensive zone, and that's a problem given that Schaff had the puck.
Fairly surreal last few minutes the way this hockey game has gone.
Faceoff comes pretty much right in front of us here in the press box. We're just to the right of center ice on the near side. It's a very good view, I must say. Battle for in front of the net, finally grabbed by the Falcons. That was not quite the closest a puck has come to the ceiling. I'd slot it right in the middle, probably the second closest. Gathered by the Lancers, Michael Schaff will lead the attack. 10 seconds left on man advantage. Schaff dumps it in, chased by Ronan. Ronan plays it high, off the netting, they're gonna say. And we will get a face-off. Worcester State technically still on the power play, and now some more pushing and shoving well after the play. Guys just not happy with each other. That was Michael Macchione for the Falcons and Martin Dugulinski for the Lancers. Dugulinski has Worcester State's only goal. Now he has the referee's attention, which may not be a thing that he wants. Players were all setting up for a left side face-off, but the officials decide, let's have it to the right instead. Last few seconds of the power play trickle away. We are back to even strength, not even halfway through this second period. It's been a very chippy period, and that's resulted in a very choppy period. I think that would be fair to say. Battle for behind the net. Christian Hwanitz sends it behind the Fitchburg goal. Grabbed there by Jason Lee at the point. He tries a centering pass, intercepted by Skaggs. Falcons try to push the advantage. Skaggs all the way up, takes the shot himself, and the save is made by Jakub Kubik.
Just the third shot on goal for the Falcons in this period. They've had a lot of trouble with the penalties, the indiscipline, being stuck in their own end. Worcester more or less has kept up the momentum from the end of the first period.
Really does feel like a switch flipped about halfway through that first period. Worcester State has been in control ever since. They got the goal that tied the game. They have definitely had the run of play here in the second period. Still 1-1, however. Falcons do have it in the offensive zone for just a moment, however. It's skated out by Newhold. Grabbed by Jack Johansson. He'll pass it along the near side boards. Picked up by the Lancers. They will reset. Jude Hottie sends it cross ice, intercepted by Gignac. Chance now for the Falcons. Kramer tried a shot and it went off his stick. That was a golden opportunity for Toivo Kramer. He wasn't able to capitalize. Brendan Ronan now gains the zone for the Lancers. Shot steered away by Soderberg. Goes to the left side corner. Pass for Hottie goes off his skate. Gathered by Gignac. Comes along the near side board, sent in by Broadfoot. Snatched out of midair by Kubik. He'll leave it off. Both teams will change. Brian Clardy just kind of standing behind net, waiting to see who he's going to play hockey with. Waiting. I promise he's going to do something eventually. Now he decides to skate it out. Clears it out for Grongstad. Sent in by Grongstad. Tried to play it off the boards to himself, basically. Falcons had none of that. Jeremy Millet's pass is deflected by a Lancer. Sent back into the defensive zone. Attempt was made by Rennick to keep it in, but Worcester State is able to clear it out. And then it's cleared right back out by the Falcons. Back and forth we go. Where we stop, nobody knows. That puck just runs along the top of the boards from the right corner all the way to the left. Don't remember the last time we saw that. Now played along the near side boards. Millette with a chance. He's got Rennick. Rennick wide open. Tried the backhand instead. Didn't get it in. Great lunging save made by Kubik. Now Nedelka faked the slap shot. Didn't like it. He sends it to Sargent, who plays it back behind the net. Centering pass picked off by the Lancers. Fitchburg State will gather, but they need to reset. You remember 3 minutes or so ago when I said that it had been a very choppy second period? I don't think I've shut up since the puck has been live. Played back behind the net by Worcester State. Grabbed by Schaff. He'll take a moment to gather his thoughts. And now skated up. Gains the red line, dumps it back in. Pass goes all the way along the far side boards. Finally battled for and sent back to the right side corner. Be poked at by Clardy. Clardy back to Dugulinski. Loose puck in front of the net is grabbed by Cole Archambault for the Falcons. He gets it to McKinney. McKinney's seen a lot of play as that 19th skater for the Falcons today. Michael Schaff for Worcester State dumps it out of the zone back to McKinney. He hits Skaggs. Tried to get it forward to Archambault, but Archambault couldn't handle the pass. Sent in for the Lancers by Clardy. Grabbed by Skaggs in the right corner for the Falcons. Fitchburg State will clear. 6.5 minutes to play here, period number 2. We are still tied at 1. Cole Archambault delivers a big hit to Maximilian Hussar. As they bounce off each other right in front of the Worcester State bench. Sent along the near side boards for Kowal. Peripheral gained the zone, leaves it in the right side corner for Ronan, but it's grabbed by Gignac. Gignac's able to clear. He flips it along the near side boards, grabbed there by Finney for the Lancers. Goes back along to Zapata, 113 hits another. Olivia Wild is smiling and she doesn't know why. Puck goes behind the Worcester State net. Jackson Collins in there for the Falcons. Comes back out to Johansson. His shot is deflected. Don't believe it ever got to Kubik. Gignac able to keep it in at the blue line. Sends it all the way across behind the net. Zapata has to get on his horse to keep it in at the other end. Now Collins, he goes back behind the net. And we finally get a whistle. Dan, I believe that was 5 consecutive minutes of hockey. Please talk while I drink some water.
I feel like tonight the piece of vulcanized rubber has been harder to handle than a Black Rose song. There was a point where it was dumped in maybe 4 minutes ago. It goes off the boards and past 5 different sticks, and nobody can get a touch on it.
Was that before or after it ran along the top of the boards for the entire length of the goal line along the back wall?
Before.
Okay. Lancers have the puck. They're able to clear it out of their defensive zone. Mikey Wilson leaves it off for Brigham Newholt. Newholt battling with Broadfoot along the near side boards. Beauvais in there for the Falcons. Comes back into the Worcester State zone, but Worcester State has it. Pass goes off the stick of Newholt. I was going to say so that would mean no icing. Instead, we have a cross-check, which I have finally called correctly. It will be Alexander Beauvais, the freshman from Moudon, France, serving 2 minutes in the penalty box, or if you prefer, le box du pénalty. I'm sure that's what it is in French. I took 3 years of high school French, therefore I get to make fun of French as a language. That's how this works, right?
I took French long enough to learn what false cognitives are.
Okay. Do you know what penalty box is?
Nope.
Okay. Shot for the Lancers goes behind the Fitchburg net. Cookson able to clear. Kubik comes out of net to play it. He'll leave it off for Michael Schaff. Cross-checking is the call against Beauvais. Schaff again just a little bit too slow getting into the offensive zone. It's the second time this period it's been him specifically following a teammate into the zone but with the puck. This time it was Brendan Ronan who was technically offside. Face-off won by the Falcons. Nolan Sargent will send it down into the right side far corner. Gathered there by Brendan Ronan. Ronan gains the red line, then the blue. Leaves it off for Dugulinski. Dugulinski battling with Nedelka, 2 goal scorers hammering at each other. Those two have the only goals in this game. Just about 4 minutes to play here in the second period. It has been a scoreless one. Pass comes to Ronan. He sends it forward for Dugulinski, but it's intercepted by Sargent, and Sargent will clear. Worcester State will reset, now with 50 seconds to play on their man advantage. Back behind the net, Ronan levels a big hit into Nedelka. Nedelka wasn't happy with it, but the officials say play on. Chance now for the Lancers. Clardy gains the zone. Leaves it back, but it's picked off by the Falcons. Zapata tried to hit Collins, but Collins wasn't looking. Now Worcester State with a chance. Swing and a miss by Newhold on his first pass. Second one was able to find Mikey Wilson, but it was not loose. Now Zapata in the offensive end for the Falcons. Chance for them, shorthanded, shot goes wide of the net. 10 seconds left on the power play for Worcester State. They haven't gotten much out of it. Cross-ice pass to Newhold. He's battled by Skaggs. Skaggs wins with some help, and the puck comes back behind the Fitchburg net. We are back to even strength with now 2:54 to play. Shot save made by Soderberg. Just onto the ice for the Falcons is Michael Amala. He's 1-on-3, but he likes those odds. Shot goes high over Kubik's head. I don't think Kubik knew where the puck was. Another shot from the face-off circle, save made there. That shot off the stick of Samuel Rennick. Worcester State now gains the zone. Mikey Wilson swarmed by 3 Falcons. That's bad in hockey and real life, folks. Wilson now with another chance, but in his own zone along the far side boards. Comes out across the center for Kowal. He'll dump it in for the Lancers. Worcester State will change behind. Skaggs grabs it in the corner. Flips it forward for Amala rather, who just kind of hangs onto it on the boards for a moment. Puck comes loose, shot save made by Soderberg. That shot off the stick of Kowal. Another shot saved by Soderberg. Kicks that one away with his left leg. Kind of looked like a pinball flipper, just nope. Jeremy Millette dumps it in for the Falcons. Under 2 minutes to play here in the second period. Sent all the way down the ice, just barely off the stick, I thought, of Newhold. It looked like Brigham Newhold got a touch on that, but the referees disagree. We'll get an icing, and that'll be a face-off in the offensive zone for Fitchburg State. Dan, calling hockey is fun. I like this. Face-off comes to the right side of Kubik. Poked back behind the net by Alexander Beauvais. Toivo Kramer and Graham Broadfoot back on the ice for the Falcons as they'll close this period with their first line. Lancers gain the ice, send it back behind the net. Grabbed there by Carpenter. Brady Carpenter looking for a teammate, finds Toivo Kramer instead. That's bad, he's wearing the wrong color. Chance for Fitchburg State going down the other end. 4-on-3 for them if they hurry. Beauvais was wide open. Thought I heard a whistle that he might have been offside, but the officials say play on instead. Lancers clear the zone. Johansson unable to clear it in. Under a minute to play here, period number 2. Gignac back to Johansson. He sends it forward off the stick of Oliver Cookson. It's grabbed by Kubik back behind the net. 2 Lancers, 2 Falcons in the near left corner. Sent back behind the net. More fighting with it. Now shot goes wide of the net. Off the stick of Michael Macchione. Another shot, this one from Gignac. Save, and then covering up the rebound is Kubik. And there's our requisite pushing and shoving after the whistle. Not quite as intense as we saw at the end of the first period, but still, these two teams, they're just not very happy with one another, are they?
Not so much. We've actually had more penalties in this period in the last 5-3. Well, 2 of them were for procedural issues as opposed to someone hitting someone in a bad way.
Faceoff comes to the right side of Kubik. Mike Macchione has the puck, sends it to Gignac. Falcons want one last chance. Gignac shot deflected and goes wide. That almost found the top right corner. 12 seconds left in the period. Falcons have to hurry if they want another chance. Johansson gains the zone. Gignac's behind him. Well defensed by Worcester State. 4 seconds left. Cookson will send it in, but that will send us to the locker rooms. We have played 40 minutes of hockey, and we are still tied at 1.
One thing I talked about earlier on is how warm it's been today, and the air conditioning and climate control here in the building will try its best, but sometimes it can't keep the ice as cold as you'd like it to be. And in those cases, the ice gets a little mushier, the puck will make several more hops that you are not expecting, and it becomes quite challenging to get a hold of those pucks as they're bouncing around.
I have noticed, I'm sorry to cut you off, but I just want to reinforce your point, Dan. I did notice a number of bouncing pucks or off-target passes or even one-timer opportunities where the puck isn't exactly where you want it to be, and you have to kind of double clutch. That the temperature could well play a factor in that.
I do feel like these teams have really struggled with trying to control it. We've seen so many missed passes in that period, so many shots and so many opportunities that went awry, and fittingly for all of that, we didn't see a goal.
There were wide open nets too on both sides. There was one came very early in the period. Martin Dugulinski had a chance, Dan, for a second goal. He swung so hard and basically whiffed. He went down to a knee. I was reminded of Adrian Beltre, watching him just swing at that puck with all his might.
The Hall of Fame swing there by Dugulinski trying to get that second goal of the game for him, but instead the yawning net continued to yawn, and the goal tally for Worcester stayed at 1, just like it stayed at 1 for Fitchburg State. No scoring to be had. Shots in that period were 9-8 in favor of the Falcons. Didn't really feel like that either. It just felt like nobody could really do what they wanted.
It was a very tough period for both teams, but I gotta say, a very entertaining one to call. I hope it was entertaining for you folks at home to watch. We will be back in just about 13 minutes time with the third period, maybe the final one, we would say. The final period of regulation, let's say. Third period of action coming your way in just a few minutes. This is Hockey Night in Fitchburg here on FATV. Back here at the Wallace Civic Center, Hockey Night in Fitchburg on FATV. We're getting ready for the third period of action between the Falcons of Fitchburg State University and the Lancers of Worcester State. I'm John Gugerty, joined of course by Dan Bullock. And Dan, just because there weren't any goals in the second period doesn't mean there wasn't some very exciting hockey.
There were a lot of great chances. There were a lot of penalties. There were wide open nets missed. There was a lot to be had, even if there wasn't a goal to be had.
Golden opportunities for both teams coming fast and furious. There was a stretch of about 5 consecutive minutes of uninterrupted hockey in that second period. Some of the most exciting play that I've been able to call here at the Civic Center. It was a lot of fun, I gotta say.
Lots of juicy rebounds we saw as well, as the goalies maybe just having as much trouble tracking the puck as players have had really getting control of it. There was a great save by Jakub Kubik going to his rear end, just getting that with the inside of his right leg. And so many more chances, of course. Some grinding hits as well. 10 penalty minutes against the Falcons in this contest, 6 against the Lancers. The averages would tell you that it's normally the other way around that these teams would go in terms of the penalty minutes. The Falcons already over their average of 8.2 a game. The Lancers closer to 13 a game. Through 2 periods of play this season, this is only the 4th time the Falcons have been level after 40. They've won all 3 of those games. The Lancers have only won once out of 4 tries when they are tied after 40 minutes.
Fitchburg State hopes that those trends will continue. And again, Dan, this is a very important game for the Falcons, not just because it is senior night here for Fitchburg State and not just because the team honored Coach Dean Fuller on his 600th victory before the game, but just in terms of the MASCAC standings. Fitchburg State needs every point they can get.
They would like to keep pace with UMass Dartmouth. They would like to catch the Corsairs for second place in the conference. They know they need UMass Dartmouth to drop a game somewhere by the end of the season, have any shot at getting that number 2 seed, 3 points back of the Corsairs going to today, but in 3rd place and trying to stay ahead of Westfield. Worst case scenario, they don't want to be fighting next week with Framingham for the 4th seed and hoping that they can at least get a home game in the playoffs.
And if Fitchburg State wants the full 3 points, they need to win it in regulation. Teams get 3 points for a regulation win, 2 for an overtime win, 1.5 points for a tie, 1 point for an overtime loss, and no points at all for a regulation loss. So basically, there are 3 points up for grabs, and they will be split. We just don't know how quite yet.
And perhaps they could even be split 100-0. That is still a split.
That is. Magic cards say you put cards in 2 piles. You know, all right, I have 1 pile with all of my cards and 1 pile with no cards. That's 2 piles.
Just because you can't see the pile doesn't mean it does not exist.
Exactly.
Goaltending has been good in this game. The 2 number 30s for their respective sides. Freddie Soderberg with 21 saves. Jakub Kubik with 23 saves. And both teams are going to be relying on their keepers to keep it rolling here in this third period of 20 minutes.
Michael Macchione will take the draw for Fitchburg State. Mikey Wilson will take it for the Lancers of Worcester. And here with the play-by-play for the third period is Dan Bolek.
Thank you very much. Falcons go left to right. The Lancers go from right to left here in this third frame of 20. See if we can find ourselves a goal. Maybe we'll find ourselves a winner. Lancers have it behind their own. Then Jason Lee out to that right side corner. Holding and protecting the puck was Ronan. Tried to stretch it up ice. Got a piece of Mikey Wilson's stick, so no icing. Antoine Gignac trying to keep control of it in the left wing corner of his own zone. Around the boards, Cole Archambault. Archambault battling, and maybe, I'd mentioned the poor weather not necessarily helping players in terms of controlling the puck. It probably doesn't help them stay on their skates that well either.
I feel as though we should stipulate that it is poor weather specifically for ice hockey. I cannot think of another circumstance in which this beautiful 60-degree day would be called poor weather. But yes, for ice hockey, it's poor weather.
Anders Grogstad with the shot. That's gloved down by Freddie Soderberg.
Maybe if it was exceedingly bright and sunny, it would be poor weather for shooting video because, we prefer cloudy, overcast days. That's a little bit of inside baseball, but beyond that, man, poor weather. You're not wrong. It's just impressive.
That's flipped out of play. Couldn't tell if it landed in the bench or in the stands. If it had been straight out in the NHL, it would be a penalty, but it's not in NCAA hockey, so we'll have a draw to the left to Soderberg.
I'm pretty sure the puck wound up in the glove of Andrew Wolozin. He just handed it back to the official as he skated up the ice.
Wouldn't have been a penalty either way then. Because into the bench is not straight out of play. Falcons win the draw, trying to move it up to Dunn. Collins goes cross ice. Nedelka with a touch to the near side for Zapata. Dispossessed. Active stick there by the Lancers. Jude Hottie was able to knock it away. All the way back down into the Falcon end. Trying to move it along the near side boards. Taken by Max Tucker. In that left corner, Falcons moving it along. Near side, Dunn. Trying to get past Michael Schaff. Nothing going there. Tucker, left side, Dubilinski. His shot gloved by Soderberg. He holds it out. Proves that he's got it. And we'll have another draw. 1:52 gone in the third.
I don't want to say that that was an easy save because there are no easy saves. This is one of the more basic, fundamental saves you'll see a goaltender make. You've got a clear shot of the puck. You can see it all the way. Keep your legs together. Make the catch. Hang on.
Holds it out there. It's like, yes, I have it. I've got the puck.
It's like he was framing a pitch. He looked like a catcher.
Right where I wanted it to be. Lancers hold it back on their own blue line. Stretched it up, missed everybody. Will not go for icing, touch someone along the way. Falcon lost his skates as he was going to play that puck. And that was due to the illegal actions of a Lancer that will result in him going to the bin for 2 as he tries to fight his case.
Matt Lombardi is beside himself. Cannot believe that he's being called for tripping, but that is the call.
probably feels like the Falcon going for that puck there lost an edge. Perhaps that was the case. We'll look at the replay. You don't want to put your stick in such a spot. He probably has a good case there, but
I don't see how that's tripping. I really don't.
What happened there, his stick is in the area of the feet of Isaiah McKinney. And to the official from that angle, looks like
Worcester
maybe he made
State penalty
contact
number
with
12,
McKinney's
Matt
skates.
Lombardi.
And thus he goes
2
to the
minutes
ice.
for tripping.
And thus
2
the tripping is called. But he doesn't win that fight, and he'll sit for 2. Falcons tonight 1 for 3 on the man advantage. I don't think any of those have actually gone the full 2 minutes, because I think 2 were interrupted by penalties and third was interrupted by the scoring of a goal.
That is correct.
Right side of the net, Falcons, Millette didn't find anywhere to try to put that puck towards Kubik. He had that post sealed. Right wing corner, everybody digging at it. 3 Lancers trying to win that puck. Punch in the corner, Mikey Wilson. Puck migrates around and finally cleared. 1:12 to go on the man advantage. Soderberg, a long stretch pass. Beauvais try to put it in front. Can't get it cleanly to Reddick, but he'll be able to keep control of the puck. Moves around to the left side, tries to center, goes off a Lancer stick, and it's not going to be able to find Nedelka. Not at the point, but instead all the way back behind the Falcon net. 47 seconds to go on the man advantage for the Falcons. 16:24 to go in the third in a 1-1 hockey game. Archambault, left side, shot saved by Kubik. Rebound pops out to Amala, takes it on his backhand, goes for Toivo Kramer. The right side corner, Jack Johansson, left side. Now, there's a shot whiffed on. How many times have we seen a player whiff on a shot today in this game?
Certainly more than one.
I feel like if you're counting on your fingers, you'd be running out of fingers pretty quickly.
Yeah. Don't take a shot every time someone misses a shot. That would be bad.
Not recommended. That's dumped in the zone. Goes to Soderberg. He plays it along. That one whacked out of the... Let's see, Johansson lost it with that, and now we get the whistle. I think we will get the call for the slash.
Well, Johansson's stick was batted out of his hands by Matt Kowal, and last time I read the rule book, which I will concede was not recently, you can't do that. That's against the rules. They don't let you do that.
Kowal will go to the bin. This one was a little more obvious than the last one. Right as the penalty to Lombardi expired. Yep, there's the stick going down. It knocks Johansson's blade loose, and that's not allowed.
Yeah, no, that is slashing. That is textbook, rule book, definition. That is against the rules. You cannot do that.
Falcons will get power play number 5 after the first penalty that went the full 2 minutes before something else happening. This one goes basically 2 minutes and no longer. Beauvais will get his own pass behind the net. Trying to turn around. Taken by a Lancer instead. Hit up ice by Brian Clardy. And there's a shot. Getting a piece of that one was Soderberg off the stick of Shane Prifferl. Now on the right side, here's Rennick into the zone. Rennick, cross for Beauvais. Has to settle with his backhand, turn, shoot. Glove down by Kubik. Rebound pops to the right side, no Falcons there to pounce. 1:15 to go on the man advantage. Here's Gignac, top of the right circle, through traffic. But redirected high over the crossbar. Nedelka will shoot it towards goal, save by Kubik. Picked up on the left side, Falcons continue to hold. Gignac shot deflects wide. Lancer bench really happy with their goaltender and their defense's play here on this power play for the Falcons. 51 seconds to go on it. Left side, tough angle, stop by Kubik off the side of the net. Pops up behind the net. And finally onto the blade of Prifferl, who will just skate it up ice. He's thinking about dumping it down ice, but instead he'll skate it up. Still going, gets a shot off. Soderberg makes the save.
I gotta say, Dan, I'm really impressed by the maturity shown by Shane Prifferl right there, the sophomore from Inver Grove Heights, Minnesota. had the chance, as you said, to just dump the puck down the ice. And after basically 3.5 consecutive minutes of the penalty kill, you would forgive him for just being desperate to get rid of it. But instead, he skated it up ice, took extra time, wound up getting a shot and a face-off in the offensive zone, killing so much more time on this power play than if he had just spun around and chucked it.
I feel like he was probably thinking, I'll shoot it down ice if I'm pressured. I'll shoot it down ice if I'm pressured. I'll shoot it down ice if I'm pressured. Oh, I'm in the right face-off circle. Nobody's pressuring me. I guess I'll shoot it now. Oh. Actually put a legitimate shot on Soderberg, made him have to make a save, and that subsequent pressure by the Lancers killed off pretty much the rest of this penalty. Falcons finally regain the zone, but right as it comes out of the box was Kowal. Penalty is up, saved by Kubik on that shot. And now, here is Kowal trying to break it on goal, stopped by Soderberg.
Flashback to the last time Worcester State scored right at the end of a power play after Fitchburg State gave them a breakaway chance. Was very similar to the first goal by Worcester State. That time Soderberg was able to turn him away, Dan.
25 saves for the freshman netminder. That puck makes its way in front of Kubik. Winds up passing it along with his glove to Brigham Newhold. His shot goes wide. That one off a clashing of sticks goes in the right wing corner.
So hand passes are just legal for goalies?
In the defensive zone. Actually, nah, it's a good question. It's maybe like that, I guess.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, it is a device that is used for containing the puck. I guess if you contain the puck in your goalie glove and move it along like that, I guess that's fine. That's stopped by Soderberg, and he'll drop it to the ice. And the Falcons will play on. 12:21 to go, third period. We're still level at 1. Nedelka and Duglinski have the goals for their respective sides. So here's UMass Dartmouth, and that is Martin Duglinski. We'll dump it into the right wing corner. Want to find Clardy. Out to the near side. Falcons push it out of the zone. That's going to make its way to the goal line, and it will be icing. Falcons won't be able to complete that line change. Have to bring the tired legs back out with 11:56 to go in the third in a 1-1 hockey game. Here is that breakaway chance there by Kowal out of the penalty box, and Soderberg able to track it and stop it with the glove. Draw will come to the left of Soderberg. 26 saves for him, 27 saves for Jakub Kubik. Comes around to the left side. Falcons just trying to move it out of the zone. It's Hunter Dunn tracking that on the left side. Schaff on him. To the left circle. Beauvais not able to keep control of that puck. You saw it bounce up and down off of his stick. Brandon Ronan into the zone, graduate student for the Lancers. As that shot goes wide off the stick of Louis Valenti. Near side, Falcons will skate it up. Beauvais in the zone, had it knocked off his stick by Valenti. 3-on-3 there. Broadfoot trying to get a shot off through a lot of Lancer legs. But a tough task. Was on the right side. Linesman getting caught up in the physicality. Sargent and Newhold getting together there. To the center circle on the near side, Wilson pushing along Newhold. His shot is blocked, but bounces around a lot of Falcon skates into a dangerous position for Grongstad, who can't put it towards goal. Flipped up ice, down into the Lancer end, a race to that puck, but cleanly won there by Cody Porcello, and we'll have an icing. Draw will come to one side of Soderberg. This Falcons hired skates. They'll have to coordinate who was supposed to be on the ice, who wasn't supposed to be on the ice, who was on when the whistle blew.
They'll send Broadfoot back to the bench, bring Archambault out. We'll see just how long Cole Archambault stays on the ice.
Draw won by the Lancers. Porcello tried to find Hadi on the left side, but hopped over his stick, as it happens so many times today. Dumped back into the zone by Porcello to the right wing corner. Falcons trying to clear it out. But everything's coming a little tougher today. Players tumbling and trying to keep their balance. Players overskating the puck. Things, this and that happening. At the red line, trying to dump it in there was Peripheral. Knocked down by the Falcons stick. Here's Rennick, who had a lot of trouble settling it. And Archambault is offside. 9:55 to go in the third. 1-1 the score. Let's thank our underwriters.
Fitchburg Access Television's remote productions are brought to you in part by Rollstone Bank and Trust, Acme Carpet One, Lemonster Credit Union, the Sentinel and Enterprise, and Minuteman Press.
We thank them all for making all of our remote productions possible. We're just past halfway in this third period of action. Everything feels like it's teetering on the razor's edge. So many opportunities going wayward, and we stay level at 1-1, where we have been since 1:23 to go in the first. Around the board to the right side, sped back around to the left for Dugalinski. Now thrown to the right wing corner. Gignac for Rennick. Pushed along. Millette can't get to that puck. Comes out to the near side for Dugalinski. He'll just pop it into the zone, onto the right side. Clardy won't be able to get there first for the Lancers. Wilson trying to track that as Rennick settles it down and tries to go from side to side. Felt like maybe he was being held up a little bit. We'll continue on as it's taken away. And the shot taken by Maximilian Hussar. Stopped by Soderberg. Shots 28-28 in this contest, and the score 1-1. Everything as all square and even as you could expect.
It's a game that's gotten more even as it's gone along, too. Hard to say either side has had the advantage here in this third period.
Everyone's got their chances here and there as that one goes out of play. Remember, while the Falcons are fighting for home ice and positioning in the MassCAC playoffs, Worcester State is fighting for a playoff spot. 4.5 points out of the sixth and final spot. Trailed Salem State, who's sitting at 20.5, and the Lancers at 16. The Falcons 1 point ahead of Westfield for fourth place, and 4 ahead of Framingham, who are sitting in fifth. But remember, the Falcons still have to play Westfield and Framingham next week. Right off the draw, that shot was blocked. Well worn there by Zapata, who was the one sort of shaking his leg after he wore that shot. Skaggs stretches it up, misses the mark. That'll go for icing unless Zapata can win the race. He can't. Both Lancers clearly to the hash marks first in Schaff and Valenti. Draw will come all the way back down to one side of Soderberg. He's made 27 saves tonight. Jakub Kubik, his counterpart, 27 saves as well. They bow forward and off this draw. Eventually, finally, maybe controlled by Fitchburg. Look at how much both teams have really struggled to truly possess the puck in these moments. As it goes right out in front off the skate of Grogstad, and a delayed call against Fitchburg. Interference will put the Lancers back on the power play.
Dan, you mentioned the trouble that both teams were having in that recent exchange at center ice. I think part of the reason, and the reason for this penalty, is that Hunter Dunn had a big old handful of Lancer jersey. He was doing more than his fair share of obstruction, shall we say. Referees and linesmen agree. They'll send him to the box for 2 minutes.
5th minor penalty of the season for the freshman from Douglas, Mass. Power play number 6 for Worcester State. Holding was the official call. As that shot bounces around A wicked hop in front of Soderberg, but wide of the cage.
Ryan Clardy was right there, looking to get the deflection and the goal. Didn't bounce the right way for the Lancers.
Dumped in around, Nedelka's got the best path to that puck. Kept in by Grogstad. Was able to shake off everybody, try to keep control of it. Clardy couldn't keep it in, and it's cleared out again. Kubik all the way out of his net to the right side circle to him, and he passes that straight along to Shane Brifrell. You can see he's pretty confident in how he can move the puck. Brifrell will get in the zone. He's laid out there just as he got the puck away. Brandon Ronan on the right side, popped off a stick, and the Falcons are able to clear it, going to the ice.
Jackson Collins from his belly clearing that one.
50 to go on the power play. Tucker puts it across. Miscommunication on who should receive that pass. And that one stolen by the Falcons and cleared again. No shots on this power play. Kubik moves near side to Tucker. Out to the far side, Dugalinski, who had the goal for Worcester so long ago, it feels. Back behind the Lancer net. Kubik settling it. Schaff will skate it up and throw it hard off the boards. Dugalinski puts it off the side of the net to the right side. Cannot be held cleanly by Ronan. Throws across the left wing corner. 8 seconds to go on the power play. Rennick gets there, just tries to clear it out. Not enough oomph. Intercepted by Ronan. Left side, one-timer deflects wide. Dunn's out of the box. The power play unsuccessful again for Worcester State. The Falcons have killed yet another man advantage off. And here's a stretch pass. Michael Amala has a breakaway. Shoots! Scores! 10th goal this season for number 10. Michael Amala gives the Falcons the lead.
Hunter Dunn came out of the penalty box. He skated forward about 4 feet onto the ice and then was called back to the bench. He went back to the bench, was replaced by Amala. Amala was wide open. It was the Falcons able to score on the counterattack and take the 2-1 lead.
Beautiful strike by Michael Amala, the freshman from Oak Lawn, Illinois. 10th goal of the season. The stick goes flying in the air. No penalty there. And here's Macchione, a backhand shot wide. Antoine Gignac gets the lone assist. 2 assists for him here on senior day. I saw a player behind the play slamming his stick on the penalty that is to come. A hook indicated. And another penalty against Fitchburg. It's Cole Archambault, the senior being honored today. And now Worcester State is probably thinking maybe 7 will be lucky enough. You see it there.
As if the hook wasn't enough, he shoves his man to the ice as well.
They'll call just the first one. Archambault's 5th penalty of the season. He'll sit for 2 minutes. Now the right side shot blocked. These penalty killers have had to do so much work for the Falcons today. The 7th time they've been asked to bring Worcester State to a halt, and a great shot in front, stopped by Soderberg. And a lot of gold shirts jumping on that rebound and clearing it out. 90 seconds to go on this 7th man advantage for the Lancers. As Schaff stops, dumps it in, right wing corner. Thrown around it into the point. Back for Schaff. Grogstad can't hold on to that puck. Macchione will backhand it out of the zone. Cookson battling with Michael Schaff, the freshman from Nashua. To the right wing corner. Grinding precious seconds off this penalty. Now about 60 seconds to go on this power play. 4 minutes to go in regulation time. The Falcons lead 2-1. Clardy can't get a shot away with so much pressure from behind. See Soderberg moving to the near side post keeping track with him. Cleared out of the zone, Christian Finney. Now a touch near side for Shane Peripheral. Now up the ice on the left side, Brigham Newhold. One of the leading scorers for the Lancers. Out to the point for Finney. Brennan Ronan, 19 points coming into today. He's the team leader in points. That's whiffed on, and heavy consequences for missing that one against Peripheral, as the Lancers now must reset all the way back into their own end and right in front of their goal.
Peripheral wanted to stop the momentum and then we're back for a big slap shot, but he didn't get step one right. He only slowed the puck down, didn't stop it.
And offside again, 3:10 to go, 8 seconds on this man advantage. Haven't mentioned this game, Worcester State, they have a first-year head coach in Jay Punske. 6-16 in his first campaign. I talked to him before the game, asked him how the season was going. Said not great, but after a couple hours, that might change. Winning's a heck of a cure-all.
He's got 3 minutes if he wants to change it tonight.
We'll have to look if the scoreline stays as it is. When would he think about pulling Jakub Kubik for the extra attacker?
Think about pulling the goaltender. Think about maybe calling their timeout. We're getting to that part of the game.
2:40 to go and a lot of open ice here on the right side. The shot is stopped by Soderberg. It was Newhold getting a hold of that one. Soderberg staying right with it. Here's Brigham Newhold again on the right side. Trying to wrap around, thrown out in front. Porcello is stopped by Soderberg.
Freddie Soderberg standing tall in the waning minutes of this game. There were 3 Lancers in front of the goal. No Falcon to be seen. Soderberg makes the save.
Worcester State.
Now the Lancers will call their timeout with 2:20 to go in regulation time, a 2-1 lead for the Falcons. You can see Freddie Soderberg talking with his fellow netminders, Cam Isabel and Alexander Falkenhagen. Max Macchione, if you missed it at the top of the game, not dressed today, sustained an injury 2 nights ago against Plymouth State, is not active. But Soderberg has stepped up, getting the start today. 29 saves for the freshman from Harrison Township, Michigan. The engineering technology major has played tremendously today.
Fantastic performance by Soderberg. Don't want to take anything away from Jakub Kubik, his counterpart for Worcester State as well. Take a look at just one of many impressive saves made by Freddie Soderberg here tonight. That one-on-one opportunity coming off another Falcon turnover. Again, very similar to the way the Lancers got their first goal. That time Soderberg was able to steer the puck away.
There have been a handful of high-danger chances that the Falcons have given up tonight. They haven't been perfect on defense, but they've been good enough to give Soderberg the opportunity he needs to come away with those saves. Draw will come to his right with 140 seconds left in regulation time, a 2-1 lead. Net is empty on the other end. It is 6 skaters for Worcester State out of the timeout. That's the time to pull for the extra attacker. Mike Macchione tries to control against the boards. Falcons wouldn't mind it getting stuck there for a little bit, because that's several seconds that it's not going to make its way towards the Falcon net. When it's finally poked free, it goes all the way to the other side of the ice and out of the zone. Soderberg will settle, wait for somebody to come get that one. Comes around to the right side, Ronan keeps it in, throws it towards goal. Stopped by Soderberg, but a very dangerous rebound now, loose in front. Some jam chances, can't get it through, another chance, goes behind the net. It's 1:35 to go in this game. Nedelka trying to push it along, it's out of the zone, down the ice, it's going for the empty net, it misses by the slimmest of margins, and icing is called.
You never know when the other team's got an empty net. If you've got the puck in your defensive end just turn around and chuck it. Maybe 6 inches, the difference between icing and a 2-goal lead. The Falcons will call their timeout.
Take a moment to look ahead what these two teams have in the final week of their regular season. For Worcester State, this would be huge if they could come away with the victory tonight, because the team they're trying to catch, Salem State, is their next opponent. That's Thursday the 15th. That's a game that could very much decide that number 6 seed. Then they finish with NCLA, who are fixing to win the wooden spoon at 10.5 points.
Fitchburg State on the other side, a much more difficult slate of games. Thursday they play Westfield State, the team that is looking up at them, trying to claim the 3 spot. And then their final game of the season next Saturday at Framingham State.
Falcons have taken the full 6 points from Westfield, but have taken 0 out of 6 from Framingham. It's going to be a very interesting run of play for the Falcons to close off this regular season. But right now, they've got a team clad in blue and gold that they've got to try to contain in this last 85 seconds. The Falcons lead 2-1. Goals by Adam Nedelka and Michael Amala for the green and gold. Martin Dugalinski has the lone goal for Worcester. Again, 6 skaters on the ice for the Lancers. They fight for it on the draw to the right of Soderberg, ultimately controlled by Worcester. Goes behind the net to the right wing corner. Worcester just wants a passing lane, wants someone to get open somewhere. Thrown into the paint, bouncing around, so many bodies out in front. And a chance off the shoulder of Soderberg. Not sure how well he clearly saw it, but he was able to stop it nevertheless. And it's shoved out of the zone, down the ice. It will go for icing. No, it won't.
That was off of Lancer's stick. That was a Worcester State player trying to make a backwards pass.
And that will go for icing on the other end. And Kubik's going to have to come back. Makes his way over the boards. So he'll come back in between the posts with 43.5 to go. The draw will be to his left. Boy, in these last couple of minutes, just seeing the total mosh pit of bodies in front of Freddie Soderberg. It has been challenging.
Kubik is back out.
Kubik heading off again. That's backhanded off the boards, and now a foot race to the puck. Hunter Dunn will seal it! The freshman with his 5th goal of the season backhands it into the empty net, and the Falcons lead 3-1.
This play, Dan, started developing even as Jakub Kubik was still heading for the Lancer bench. Worcester State was able to clear their zone. They wanted to get Kubik out as quickly as possible, get the extra skater back on the ice, but they barely had control. Fitchburg State was able to grab it, get the breakaway, and there was nobody between Hunter Dunn and a goal.
Chris Zapata will get the assist there on the goal by Hunter Dunn. And now it's just frozen against the boards. Nobody able to dig it free. Still jammed away at it. 2 seconds and 1. Time will run out. And the Falcons will take Senior Day with a 3-1 win. And Dean Fuller is now tied for 4th all time in Division III wins. He's matched Bill Beanie with 602 wins.
We hope you arrive home safely this evening.
Congratulations, you see him there. Dean Fuller again tied for 4th all time in Division III hockey, 602 victories. The 602nd puts his team in much better playoff position.
Points 32, 33, and 34 will go up on the ledger in the MassCAC standings with a hard-fought 3-1 win.
Game was level from the end of the first period until deep into the third. More than 35 minutes went by without a goal. Fitchburg State finally found the difference maker, tacked on an empty netter at the end for good measure. A well-fought and well-earned 3-1 victory for these Falcons.
Had to fight so hard through it. Unofficially 31 saves for Freddie Soderberg, including some late. When there were so many bodies in front, where it'd be so difficult to track the puck in those circumstances, he stands strong, and the freshman netminder continues to show why he deserves the starts. Even today, we know that the man he's been battling with all season, Max Macchione, who he doesn't get to hug at the end of this game, he had to get the start today, and the Falcons will salute their fans as they take a big victory. Go to 12-9-2, 11-6-2 in the MASCAC. And for Worcester State, a big blow for their playoff hopes. They're going to need a lot of things to fall just right for them down the stretch in their final 2 games.
Unable to make up any ground on Salem State are the Lancers. Worcester State will play Salem State in their next game, but even if they win that game, Salem State will still be ahead of them going into the final game of the regular season.
You can see, by the way, Freddie Soderberg skating off there with Anders Grogstad. Forgot to mention they were teammates on the Metro Jets last year, so it wasn't just a coincidence that they're both from Michigan with Swedish names. They were, in fact, teammates, and then the prayer circle at the end of today's game. The Falcons coming away with a very big victory. May not have been easy, may not have been secure until the final seconds. But
See there.
It's a big 3 points nevertheless.
Soderberg catching up some more with Anders Grogstad, posing for a picture. Just a tremendous game for him, a wonderful win for the Falcons. Folks, thank you so much for being here. One more time before we go, we'll let you know the Falcons have 2 more games remaining in their regular season. They play Westfield State and Framingham State, both of those games coming up next week. Dan, thank you so much for calling us. We want to thank our entire FATV crew as well. Our director today is Nate Glennie. Robin Como operating the replay, putting together this nice package that you see here. Our camera operators today are Evan Schackenbach, Isaiah Manuel, and Keith DePerry. Want to thank Tim Doust as well. Always good to have Tim back with us. Travis Falk in the truck, of course. Nothing we do at FATV would be possible without Travis Falk. I think that's fair to say. It's a tremendous day of hockey here, a 3-1 victory for the Falcons. Folks, stick around for the second game of our doubleheader coming up in just a little bit. Again, that will be the Red Raiders of Fitchburg Monty Tech playing host to the Blue Knights of Lunenburg Air Shirley. But again, big playoff implications for the Falcons with this victory, Dan.
Absolutely. And although these are the final regular season games that we're bringing to you right now, remember we have playoff hockey that we hope to be bringing to you, and we'll be getting you those games as the schedules are finalized in the days to come.
Absolutely. Stick with FATV across various social media channels. I know we are on the thing that used to be Twitter, whose stupid name I'm not saying. We are on Instagram, Facebook, and of course FATV.org will have the latest and up-to-date schedule just as soon as we know, you will know. Again, folks, thank you all so much. We will see the credits roll as we say our goodbyes. For those who just wanted to watch the Fitchburg State game, we thank you for tuning in. But hey, we encourage you, stick around. We've got more hockey coming up. It is Hockey Night in Fitchburg right here on FATV.